stick your foot in the ground, boom, shed the block, hit him. And where is he going? He's going backwards. Love that. Great play. Like that, I mean, that should be at the top, man. How to Get a College Football Scholarship, a series where we evaluate active high school football players and share with them what they can do to make their social media better, their posting better, their game film better, and then at the end, reveal what divisions they have the best chance of actually earning a scholarship at, and ultimately sharing with them what they need to do in order to get to the next division. This is what most athletes are looking for. When am I? Division 1? Am I an FCS, a G5, a Power 4, or an NAI, or a D2? What level do you have the best chance of earning a scholarship at? And if you want to get a professional evaluation just like this, I'll leave a link in the description below. So let's jump right into this. First off the bat, let's give some X-Profile feedback on Elias. First of all, he's done a really, really good job. This is exactly what it should look like at the top. Now, I always preface this by saying every athlete is a little bit different, right? There's some core things you always have to have. You got to have your city, state. You got to have your email, got to have your phone number. These are things that are really important. However, certain things like, your position, your height, weight, your school, all that stuff. But like bench and squat and GPA, this really depends on the player, right? And so for this 450 squat, 305 bench, that's pretty solid. This is really good size too. So these are things that are going to be, this is going to make sense to go ahead and put inside the bio. So really good job there. Really, also you've got a banner image, good stuff, and you've got your picture here. The only feedback I'd have here on the picture is try to get the front of you, but definitely a good job of getting the number. I think that's really important. Especially it makes it easy for college coaches to go in and jump in and evaluate your film if they're finding you that way. Also, if you don't know this, coaches use a recruiting software called ARMS, and that's where they track all of their players. So being able to create a simple profile is really valuable. Now, I also will mention that this feedback is coming from myself and my head coach. His name is Brian Overton. He has 15 years of Division I recruiting experience, so it's not just coming from me. All right, so post feedback is pretty common, right? You've been pretty active. So let's just look here. You've got your pinned, your week 1 to 6, so your midseason highlights. But this was almost a month ago. Did you do it twice? Okay, you might have done it twice. So this is a reposted. Okay, so that was like a month ago. Reposted. Okay. Congrats on the offer. Yeah, so we're just not posting enough, right? And so if you watch any of the other evaluations I've done, it's very simple, right? Post play-by-plays, post workouts that you're doing. And you could just post sets, right? You could post the food that you're eating, the footwork that you're doing, things that you're doing to get better off the field, on the field, grades, tests. Like these are all things that you want to post so that when coaches go to your page, they can get an idea of who you are. And I'm telling you, athletes that we work with, when coaches know who they are before they even talk to them on the phone, it just makes the conversations 10 times easier. So these are all things that you could do here to really improve the relationships that you're building, getting coaches' attention, and also these coaches that are following you. You want them to see you over and over and over again, so that when you do DM them, when you do get in their email inbox, they know who you are, right? So got to get that going. The reposting stuff is fine as long as it's not repost. Yeah, September 20th. Yeah, we just got to get more. Okay. Next thing is we got to start tagging coaches in your posts, right? So one of the things that I teach is going through and making sure that you're posting plays, right? Like your best plays, your splash plays, and you've got to be tagging coaches. And the same thing is when you post your early season, mid-season highlight videos, right? I think this is your athletic director, right? So I want to see here all the coaches that you've been following, all the coaches that are following you, all the coaches that you're communicating with. We've got to tag those in these posts. You're just going to up the view volume dramatically by doing that, right? And so you're missing that opportunity. And that's why, again, I'm going to share with you, like, the top 15, 20 plays, you should post one of those plays every single day and continue to rotate and tag coaches so they're constantly seeing you over and over and over again. It's going to give you so much more of an opportunity. Let's talk about your game film feedback. Elias, you're a great player, man. Play well, good instincts. Love the physicality you play with at the linebacker position. You got solid size. I want to say you're like 6'1", 6'1", 200. Solid size at the high school level. You'll probably get like 6'1", 215 at the next level, which will be really solid at the divisions that we think that you're currently playing at. You put your hat on the ball, you put your face on players, you do a great job of scraping over the top. Really, really good things that you do here. On the film itself, we got to get the tape down to 4 minutes. It's way too long for a mid-season tape. And I'll say this a couple times throughout this, but it's just, we got to get the splash pit plays, like true highlights by you. If you're making a play down the field or someone else has already made the tackle, but you're kind of coming in and making the play later, those are plays that coaches will see when they're evaluating you down the road, right? When they're interested and they want to learn more about you, they want to see a full game, they want to see more. That's when we can really go that route and send that information, send that stuff. On this video, it should just be the biggest splash plays that really show these characteristics, right? Because this is what college coaches are looking for. So 2 plays, we got to move to your top 5. And I'm going to show you those in a second, but you do a great job of diagnosing the play, stick your feet in the ground, meet them where they are, and no yards after contact. We call them stick and stop plays, right? This is actually what Brian calls them. I've learned a lot from Brian, but he calls them stick and stop plays, right? And this is the difference between a D2 player and then an FCS, a G5, and a Power 4. Like a D2 player makes the tackle. An FCS player stands him up and puts him back. A G5 player puts him back on his back, right? A Power 4 player just disrupts the entire play, right? And so I just want to get you thinking in terms of like, how can you make your game film look better? What can you do better on the field? So 157 and 206. Let's look at these 2 plays. They're back to back, and they're your top 3 plays, really. So here we are right here. Watch. Stick your foot in the ground. Boom. Shed the block. Hit him. And where is he going? He's going backwards. Love that. Great play. Like that, I mean, that should be at the top, man. Play number 1, play number 2. There we go. Stick your foot in the ground. Drive into the hole. Make the tackle. Now, when we tell you the divisions, I'm going to share with you why. What I'd like to see you do in the second half of this season, where are we at? Okay, here we go, is when you drive in this hole, wrap them up, drive them backwards, drive them back. A good person to watch is Patrick Willis. Watch how Patrick Willis hits the hole. And when he hits the hole, man, he wraps him up, picks him up, and drives him into the ground. This is what you can do, Elias, in the second half of the season to really start showing coaches, to really start looking at the next division and the next level. I know you've got some D3 offers. And this is some things that you can do to get to the next level, more NAI, more D2 type stuff. So again, make sure that plays that are on there as you go through this, that display characteristics that college coaches are looking for. Like I mentioned up here, right? Instincts, the physicality you play with, getting over top, hitting the hole hard, driving the running back, and some of these plays where, again, it's not truly a highlight. Let's go ahead and let's remove those plays. All right. So what level are you currently projected at right now to have the best chance to play college football at? And right now, your floor is Division 3, right? I know you already have some Division 3 stuff, but I could tell from your X account, you're not getting much traction at all. So I don't know if, from an outreach standpoint, how much outreach you're doing. But we definitely think that you should have, at this point, definitely some NAIA offers. And those are football scholarship offers that pay for your school, right? Right now, depending on what you do the second half of the season, if you could take this feedback and really implement it, there's definitely could be some opportunities at the D2 level, but all that is going to be predicated on the level of outreach you're doing. Now, these divisions were selected on a few criteria. One, got some good size, man. At the Division 1 level, 6'1" is going to be on the smaller side. 215, 225 is really what we're going to be looking at. I mean, there's obviously some hybrid type linebackers that you're seeing today. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Ole Miss fan. I know you're in Mississippi, which is awesome too. But look at Suntarian Perkins, right? He's only 205 pounds. I think he's going to end up being he's SEC Defensive Player of the Week 3 times this year already. And he's going to break an Ole Miss sack record potentially this year. And he's 205, right? But he also probably runs like a 4.4, 4.5. So height, weight is important, but there's different types of players today, right? Especially, and I'll share this with what you're going to do to get to the next division, with the way that offenses are run today. They're spread out. Players are in space more, right? So, which leads me to number 2, speed, change of direction. So there's some slight stiffness, and it looks like, some straight line speed. These are some things that I'd love to see you work on really hard for the rest of the season and in the off season. Really work on that straight line speed. I know you're a senior. I wish we would have met you 2 years ago, or at least a year ago. But these are some things that you could really start working to show on your film, right? And then lastly, based on your talent level and the recruiting timeline that you have, right? We're just on a little bit of a tight recruiting timeline, but a lot of these NAIAs and D2s, depending on the outreach you're doing now, they are offering, and a lot of times they're going to wait just for the season to end to start getting full highlight tapes and make decisions. So you still have time, but it really is going to depend on the level of outreach you're doing. So what do you need to do to get to the next level? So a couple things here. Going forward, I would continue work on your overall speed and change of direction. Obviously, like I mentioned before, these will be evaluated heavily at the linebacker position because of what coaches have to face on offense in today's college game, right? It's spread out. We're seeing players in space. We're running RPOs, so linebackers have to come in, play the quarterback, play the running back, and if they hand it off, boom, you got to be able to run sideline to sideline, right? Especially at the higher levels, D2 FCS, G5, and obviously at the Power 4, which we all see on TV every weekend. So showing progress in the areas on tape can help level up your final evaluation big time, right? That's going to be the big thing for you is change of direction and speed. And then the rest is going to be based on the outreach that you're doing. Emails, calls, DMs. First of all, are you reaching out to the right schools, the right coaches that are going to give your skill, are going to evaluate you and play in their defense based on your skill set, right? And so that's going to be really important. And then the level of outreach that you're doing, the emailing, the DMs, the calling, the visiting of schools, the closing when you're on your visits. This is all going to be really critical for you at this point. If you'd like to get a professional evaluation just like this, I'll leave a link in the description below. Now, if you got value from this video and you'd like to watch more videos just like it, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you'd like to watch a recent video where I share exactly what to do if coaches aren't responding to you, then you're going to want to watch this video right here.